This one's. I have to be, I'm a board member. I think. Okay, thank you everyone for coming. We're going to go ahead and get started with our work session. We will call Mr. Carmelio. He's not here? Okay. Mr. Jordan?
Good afternoon, how are y'all?
Fine, how are you?
Get ready here, I thought we had somebody before me there.
Well, we did.
I've got a couple items and we'll start with item J and let me kind of clarify that a little bit. So, and I don't know if Mr. Musgrove's in here, but this was a contract that was approved back in September, and there's some wording in the contract that they sent back, and Mr. Musgrove was fine with it. And so he made a change to the actual wording in the contract. So, but it has to come back before y'all. So the original amount of this is $32,053.58. And I just sent y'all, I don't know if y'all have had a chance to look at it, but here are some of the justifications for having to replace these curtains that are currently there. They're 14 years old. They were installed in 2011. There's an expired fire safety certificate, and they're non-compliant for rigging hardware that's outdated, and it's a swing set chain suspension, and there's a picture of it in there. And so the fire retardant fabric is expired 14 years, and the rigging system doesn't meet current safety standards. This particular item was in our budget from 25, 26. I'm trying to get last budget year, whatever budget year that was. So that is kind of gets us up to why we're having to replace these and why we're having to come back before y'all. Any questions on that? And maybe Mr. Musgrove can answer any if you got particulars about the legal. I think there's just one or two legal questions that they had. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Been sick.
Do the
You want to
council
talk
have any?
about that? I'm talking about this Georgia State stage contract that we had to do the rewording on.
Right.
Do y'all have any questions for him? No? Okay.
That get you? Sure. The next is item K, and this is for an MOU with Shoals Pickleball. And this is just a MOU for them to work with us and us with them to help with the pickleball moving forward. And we've got Holden and Keaton here that are running both the tennis and pickleball, doing a fantastic job. So they worked on this, and if you've got any particular questions about that, they can certainly answer it.
And there's no financial obligation to this, correct?
That's correct. No, ma'am.
Y'all have any questions?
Well,
Okay.
I do want to compliment them. They've done a phenomenal job and since we opened and been working really hard. So thank y'all for what you do. I appreciate it.
And didn't you have a tournament did you have a tournament?
We did. I think I left y'all a little something from that tournament on your seat there when you came in.
Oh, okay.
So that's from it. We did, and it went really
Wanna
well.
share a little highlights about it. Was that your first?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel like sharing a little
You want
highlights
to come
about
share
it?
some? Come on.
If the council don't mind, we taking this time to do this.
You got it.
Do you have any specific questions about it?
Just want to give you your spiel.
I think it went really well. We had 170 people signed up. We had a little issue with weather. We fought really hard the week prior to get it situated. And
Can you pull your mic up?
oh, sorry,
There
first
you go.
time.
Okay, I understand.
We worked really hard the week prior to get it set up to deal with the weather. We knew there was our uncertainty if it was going to be 20 degrees or 60 degrees. Well, it was both. On Saturday, it was 60 degrees. It was beautiful. We had some temporary windscreens up to help with visual aspects. And then on Sunday, it was 20 degrees and super windy. And it actually, we had some struggles we had to deal with the windscreens, but we made it all work out. All the participants were super happy, super satisfied. They loved the facility. But yeah, I think it went really well. We're looking forward to having more tournaments this year. We got 2 booked already, and planning to have a couple more. So, I think the pickleball facility is going to be a great success for 2026.
Thank you. So did everybody show up that signed up?
Oh yeah, so we had 170 sign up. On the final day, I think we had a number of 167.
That's good.
So only a couple people dropped out, and that was just because the weather. They didn't want to deal with that cold weather, so which that's understandable. But
Yeah.
but yeah.
And I understand people came from out of state, correct?
Yes, so we had 2 people from Texas, a handful of people from Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, and Tennessee had, I'd say, a combined, out of Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi, they was probably made up probably 20% of the field. Then a couple of them from Texas and Florida, like I mentioned, and then the rest from not even just the north part of Alabama. There was people from Mobile, people from Dothan that came up. So there was quite a bit of tourism that got brought to the city through this tournament as well.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you very
Can
much.
can I just add to that? Because I went on that very warm day. Thankfully, it was so lovely. And everybody I talked to just could not say enough about how beautiful the pickleball courts were and how well thought out they were. And they were all just really, really excited. So there was a lot of energy there. It was a lot of fun.
There was.
And I got to learn how to play.
That's right. Yep, she got out there. So y'all all need to come out there and check them out. So learn how to play pickleball if y'all haven't. It's a great sport, great exercise for all ages. So we're glad to have it in the city so people can get out and be active and learn new things.
Good deal. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. Let's go. There were a lot of people from out of state, and they all really bragged, and we're, thank you for coming out, but we're very thrilled with the facility, so thank y'all for the support. Next, we have a change order, and I'll just start by, I've got the contractor, Johnson Contractors, who are doing a great job with us to answer any questions. I'll go over the kind of the pricing on it. The original contract price was $3,529,346.52. And so after some deductions and adding, the total change order would be $116,240, and this would increase the price to $3,645,586. And so just a couple of things. We have a contingency balance of $100,000 that we have not used, obviously, because we just got the project started. And we have $69,838 left over from the pier. So that's a total of $169,838 that is available right now. Now, I can't say that we won't dip into the $100,000 contingency for the RV park, because that's there just if things come up. But as we stand right now, we have $169,838 in contingency. And a lot of this has to do with the electrical. If y'all read through it, and I can get Craig to come up here and explain that more in detail. But are there any particular questions about kind of what we're doing and how we're going about it?
Yeah. Anytime I see change order,
Sure, I know.
it's a lot of questions come in my head. With this change order, was it the electrical part originally not in the contract, or because I believe in one of your emails you said that we would have to bid it out, and there's people already, we've already have them mobilized and all that. So
Right. So that was, since they're already there. So it was already in there, and we went more toward where we can individualize each particular site so we can regulate how much each site is using, turn it on, turn it off.
Right.
And so that's the big part of it. And to do that, we had to build these platforms that are they were not included in it.
Okay. Do you know why they were not?
I do not. It's just kind of part of working through it. I don't know if this is kind of what we explained that we kind of wanted, but I don't think that got into the scope of work originally. I see
Okay.
what you're saying. But there's we're getting everything above floodplain is what the platforms are there for. So it's raising everything up above the floodplain.
Okay. So initially, what was bid to run?
I'll let you jump up.
So, starting with, we had just using the existing primary transformers and tying in and doing the normal feeds to each area. Well, Garnett Electric, Charles Crow, he's I guess you can say a camper just like I am. Well, we've been down there when it flooded, and it got up, probably almost over the bridge of the bathhouse. So with the system that they had, if it was to flood, you'd be redoing the whole entire electrical system after the flood went down. So to I guess you can say to minimize that or get rid of it, we got with Reed with GMC and we figured some platforms to get above it to put all the electrical Bluetooth accessories up there, so like they can work the areas from one location via Bluetooth. Well, those can't get wet, they can't get submerged in water. So to put that up there, if say the flood comes, you got a certain amount of time, the utility department can go in there and pull those certain areas and put them up somewhere where they don't get flooded. Then when the flood recedes, you can go put it back. So in the long run, you're saving money if that was to happen, and you're opening up more area for the campers that's not got transformers sitting in their front yard or in their campsite area, kids jumping on them. You got them off to the side, covered with trees where you really can't see them. So it's just more beneficial, really.
Okay, I guess, I don't think there's a secret that McFarland is a flood area. So I guess my question is why this wasn't initially thought of and put in, or, were they just trying to get a bid out, or had they walked the site and all that?
That, you're right, McFarland, we planned for a flood. I mean, obviously, there's gonna be a flood. And so everything that we looked at, when we changed the concrete pads from asphalt to concrete, so that was looked at. This, in the scope of the work that we started planning out, all I can say is that, that electrical part, as far as this wasn't done in that original scope of work. And that's why, with Charles Crow and Garnett saying, this is kind of a better idea and to do it this particular way. So I get it wasn't in the original bid, and that maybe I'll take ownership of that, because if it wasn't in the original bid. So with all these electrical things and going through a whole project like this, as I just have to rely on the people that are doing it. And so when Charles brought this up, just like Craig said, them being campers, where we can individualize it, raise it up. So that's, it was just an overlook.
Sure, I
Yeah.
get that whole, that all makes sense. For me, though, this is a big change order.
I agree.
And, for it not to be bid initially,
Sure.
it's just a little concerning for me.
Absolutely. I thank you for the questions, and, I don't take them lightly. I try to get all the information and work with these people that I can rely on, so I get it 100%.
Any additional questions for him? No?
Thank y'all, appreciate it.
Thank you.
I guess do we
Need to take a vote on that.
Yes, please.
Okay, Joe, can I get a motion?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. King, second by Ms. Dixon. All in favor of the change order?
And I'll keep you up to speed on anything if you want to come down there and take a look at it, look at the plans, please let me know, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Mr. Coons?
Good afternoon. Three things on the agenda. The first one is a resolution to approve payment to Global Fire Sprinklers for the recycle department, $948. We had to replace a broken belt on a conveyor system, and so we had to get Global to come in there and cut the system loose. It's pressurized and rerouted around where we could get the machinery in there to change the belt out. So this work has been done, and we kind of deemed it an emergency, and that's why we did it. Any questions for me about that one? All right. The second resolution is a services agreement with LaBella Associates. We have one underground storage tank at the landfill. This is an oversight program where they check behind us to make sure we stay in compliance with ADM. And so they do schedule the testing. We have to get third parties to come in and do testing for us on like tank seals and all that we can't do in-house. But they kind of guide us through the program with ADM to keep us in compliance for that particular one underground storage tank that we have left. Questions on that one? This is about the third year we've done this particular program with these guys. They do a good job for us. All right, and then finally, the host government application. So on the 29th, I turned in the application to the city council and mayor's office for the local approval from the transfer station. What that basically means is we're jumping through these hoops, as we've discussed in some of the committees and all, to get everything in order so that we can put information out on the transfer station and everything we're doing with it to get it permitted through the health department. And so we're going by the book on these, to do these things so that you guys can hopefully approve this in April. There's the state code lays out certain rules and requirements that have to be done in a timely manner. And so that schedule's attached to your package there. And so basically I'm asking you to approve this resolution that says that you consider the application to be complete. Very simple application, not much to it. No engineering in it, really, just fill in the blanks. That we're not going to charge ourselves a fee for this since we're doing it for ourselves, but you have to approve it. That the public awareness session and dates, that you're okay with that. I talked to Jackie, he says he can be there for that one. And then the rest of the schedule that was attached is okay with you too. It's pretty straightforward stuff. I don't think anybody's going to have a whole lot to say about it, but I'm jumping through the hoops like I'm supposed to. Any questions for me about this?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Did Mr. Carmelo come in? Carmela? Okay, well, since we paused, if you don't mind, go ahead and decide.
Yeah, the issue, it's 12A on the consent agenda. No, I'm sorry, this is the regular business agenda. This is a requirement from the state of Alabama that he get a local governing body approval in order to apply for this. So he's not even eligible to submit an application to the state of Alabama without the approval from the local governing body. So this is very similar to what Mr. Coombs did. This is just a step in the process for it. There's no outcomes, doesn't result in anything. This just allows him to make application to the states what it is.
Y'all have any questions?
I do. Bob, we already have folks licensed to do this in the city, correct? This is nothing new, is what I'm asking. Selling hemp products.
Mr. Musgrave, do you know?
Yes, there were.
Do you mind coming to the podium?
The law changed on January the 1st, and the city has had people selling, they call it consumable hemp products, in multiple places around the city, but now it's regulated by the ABC board, so anybody who wants to sell at retail consumable hemp products has to get a license from the ABC board, like if you wanted to open a liquor store. And so this is the only person who has contacted the city that I'm aware of asking for approval to apply for the license, but I'm sure there'll be others. But the state in the last legislative session decided to regulate these consumable hemp products, and prior to that they were not regulated, or at least you didn't have to have a license to sell them. So, all right, thank you.
All right, thank you, I appreciate that. Ms. Jones, hold on, I'm sorry.
Go back to the change order and give you a little bit more information that Craig just gave you.
Sure.
I hated to do that, but I think it's pertinent. So in the process of the electrical work in the electricity department coming down there, they suggested that we run a 2-inch new primary line. So that's $33,000 out of that change order that would be to the electricity department. So that kind of reduces it down. I just wanted to be, they recommended that, Jones did.
Our electricity department did.
Correct. That's correct. I'm not saying anything bad about the $33,000. That's just the cost to do it. And you may know more, you may know about it, I don't know, but Jones just recommended it, so one of their engineers. So that 33,000 reduces it on down. Just want to thank you. Sorry.
Okay,
sorry
thank
to
you.
interrupt.
That's okay, thank you. Ms. Jones?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I have item F on the consent agenda, which is payment of invoices to Crouch and Sons Plumbing for the emergency repairs they did at Animal Services in the parking lot. We had some drain issues that backed up, and they had to come out twice and fix that and get into the drains that are in the parking lot to do that. Also, with that, we are going to be switching our cleaner to a company that Huntsville Animal Services, Decatur Animal Services uses. They're located in Scottsboro, and they have an enzyme cleaner that comes with this that you use. And it's cheaper than what we're currently using, and they're going to come out and do staff training about why you have to be careful of what goes down the French drains that we have instead of the hole in the floor, and we don't have flush drains at the shelter, which normally would help move things along. So hopefully we have steps in place to not have to do this again. But they did come out and fix this for us, so the drains are all moving clear, and we don't have any issues right now.
Good deal.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Morgan?
Good evening. HR has 3 items on the agenda tonight. The first one is an amendment to our investment policy statement for our retirement plan fund. I sent you those changes. Many of them are housekeeping, changing our mayor and things like that that we have to do during administration changes. Do you have any questions about that? Okay. The second 2 items are our stop loss insurance that we have. We renew that yearly. And so this year, we're going to continue with our partner. You guys have any questions about stop loss? Those are the following 2 items.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Sure, yeah. So our stop loss insurance, it helps to mitigate any financial risk to catastrophic medical claims. So we did receive 2 quotes for that. They were the same, except one of them had the, I guess I should say, the competitor that we didn't go with had the opportunity to put a laser on our next year. So that means they could say that a employee that has a catastrophic medical claim could actually have a higher deductible. And so this one did not. So it was actually the better option. It was recommended by our Blue Cross Blue Shield providers that we work with. So they've done a great job for us this year. So we'd like to continue with them. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Mr. Murphy?
Hello, everyone. Item L, resolution to approve payment of an invoice for emergency repair to replace the thermostat and transformer on one of the HVAC units at the Rosenbaum House in the amount of $549.58. It was an electrical issue. They took care of it.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Miss Mary Madafa.
How are y'all this afternoon? We're actually give Bill a little bit there. We actually are revamping the whole park, upgrading the facilities because it was all direct buried primary, and so we've redone it and put it in conduit. And also when he was talking about raising everything up, all of our transformers, most of them, if you've noticed them, you don't really see them because they're all raised above the water level too. So that's just something that we've all kind of done at McFarland because of the issue with the flooding. It's not just them. We raise all of ours up too, so it is that extra expense. So I have 2 items on the agenda. The first one is item M. It is a service agreement between us and Terex. We own a lot of Terex larger vehicles, and this is the same thing we did a couple weeks ago. This is just an agreement to do the yearly inspections on them and any maintenance that we need. And this is a 2-year agreement that we have in this council agenda. Any questions? Okay. The second is a purchase power agreement between us and Mercury Solar LLC for our solar project that we're working on in Limestone County with the other local power companies. And this is just a agreement that we are go ahead and signing that with the Toyota dealer, well, not dealership, with the Toyota company, so they can help secure their finances to move forward with the project. So this is a 30-year agreement. We are taking about 17% of this project. We will actually purchase the power for, so it'll, like I said before, to be a big savings for us when it finally finishes up, so. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Cole?
Good afternoon. I have two items on the agenda. Item N is a payment of invoice from CNH Cooling in the amount of $1,297.86. This is for the emergency repair of the HVAC unit at Wilson Lake, specifically in the electrical room. That's one of our climate-controlled rooms, so when it goes down, we have to make repairs. Any questions on that one? And then the second one is of similar nature, different location. It's at Cypress Creek Wastewater Treatment Facility. This is to J.C. Ham and Sons in the amount of $4,377.78. And it's this specifically at the Solids building, but same thing, same issue. We have climate-controlled rooms that we must maintain because of all the electrical components, breakers, so on and so forth. So any questions on that one? Thank y'all.
Thank you very much. Chief?
Good afternoon. I have three items, all of which are invoices for payment. The first one is item P. It's a resolution to approve payment for an invoice from Ringer's Garage Door. I've spoke to you all, and this actually started last summer. We had an incident at Fire Station 5 with one of the garage bay doors, and involved with that has been three components of repair and replacement. We had the initial call out to take down the damaged door and relocate one of the doors that's on the rear of the building to the front of the building, so we actually had the access to, respond and return without having to back around the circle drive in the rear of the building, which is very tight quarters, and the actual door itself. And this is the last of the three. We had requested this invoice a couple of times, and for whatever reason, the company was a little slow in getting the invoice to us. So this is the final invoice on that repair in the amount of $7,595. Any questions on that one? Item Q is a resolution to approve payment to Williams Fire Apparatus in the amount of $29,079.16. We had an apparatus that had some pretty substantial issues, mechanical issues, and we called our dealer up, and they spent a week here making those repairs. Out of this total charge, $5,000 of that is labor. The rest of it was parts. And so it's very expensive to work on these trucks, but them being here and doing the work on site and the labor charge is what one of the things that initiated this to be presented to you all today. Any questions about that one? That truck has those repairs have been made and is operational again. It's actually in service, being put in service at the moment. And the last one is item R, and it is a resolution to approve payment in the amount of $385.64. This is to Mobile Communications of America, otherwise known as MCA. We had a communications failure in one of our fire trucks. The guys all, I don't know if you've ever seen them, they wear headsets, noise reduction, and able to listen because the trucks are very loud inside the cabs. And we lost communications in one of the trucks, and this charge $15.64 was parts, but it took 2 hours to make the repair. They had to disassemble one of the components on it and get into a motherboard and replace a piece in it. So that's what this was. And that repair has also been made. Any questions or comments about that one? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Balch?
I have general business 13A on the agenda. It is the fiscal year 25-26 general fund budget. It is a zero budget, break even, no surplus, no deficit. 2.5% cost of living that was effective at January 1st. There were a few additions to the original budget, a couple of computers for a couple of departments, added Placer AI software in partnership with tourism for use with Park and Rec for grant applications and planning as well. Software and equipment for the police department, the body cameras, I think those have been discussed several times. And then an appropriation to the Shoals Business Incubator for $10,000. Reductions from the original budget was we removed 5 new positions within the police department. These were new positions, not cutting position or jobs. And so we removed those and then reduced the UNA appropriation to $325,000. Any questions on those? That's it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lovejoy?
And I have items on general business 13, B, C, and D, and it's just to amend the utility budgets to match the 2.5% general wage increase. The net effect on it, and this is January to June, electricity, it was $199,300, and gas, $58,300, and water was $66,700 is the net effect of the 2.5%. But this is our second amendment. We did the first amendment in October that included the 35-cent match on the retirement. So this is the only part we were lacking.
You have any questions for him?
Mark, did all this come out of reserves with each of these?
Yeah, well,
budgets?
or out of net income, so yes, reserves.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. We try to break even, but we do have to show a net income in order to fund our capital.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. Mr. Musgrove?
I have 4 items on the agenda. It's consent agenda item S, or items S, T, U, and V. S is an easement agreement between the city and Hensley Grave Holdings, and T is an easement agreement between the city and Mr. and Ms. Stoltz. And this is one of the easements is for a sewer line and one is for a water line. This is for the extension of main lines to reach the apartment project at basically really close to the intersection of Chisholm Road and Old Chisholm Road. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but Tyndall Davis is building apartments there. And so the city has to extend main lines to reach the development. Of course, the developer pays for that, but once the lines are constructed and accepted by the city, they'll be owned and maintained by the city. So because they're main lines, and that's why the easements are to the city. And they chose to do these in the form of an agreement. It could have just been a grant of easement. The city's, obviously it's not costing the city anything. We're just agreeing to the terms of the easements. Any questions? And then item 11U is a release of escrow funds, and it says from the Lauderdale County Agriculture Center Authority, but it's from the escrow fund to the Lauderdale County Agriculture Center. But by way of a little background information, the city extended the sewer line, a sewer line out and built a lift station at the Agriculture Center property out on Highway 72. And the city jointly with the Agriculture Authority got an EDA grant for, I don't remember the figures now. It was approximately maybe 1.3 or 4 million, and the total project cost was around 4 million. So in the contract, the city required that the Ag Authority put the difference between the amount of the EDA grant and the total cost of the project in an escrow fund, just to make certain that if the city did the project, there would be money there to pay the city. And of course, they paid the city without getting into the escrow fund. So now the project is complete, and so we need a resolution to release the funds in the escrow to go back to it's the Ag Authority's money less approximately 262,000, which is their final payment to the city for the administrative and the actual construction cost. Any questions? All right, thank you. The last item, 11V, is an agreement between the city and the Florence City Lodging Corporation, which is a nonprofit company that was created to essentially operate or perform the functions of the Tourism Improvement District. I don't know if y'all remember when that was done. It was in 2024. The city created a Tourism Improvement District at the request of the hotel owners in the city. And it includes all the hotels with 40 or more rooms within the city limits of Florence, and the city levied a fee of 4% of their gross rental revenue, and so the hotels pay that to the city. We collect it, or Ms. Balch collects it, and Mr. Leidy, and then the city pays that to the nonprofit corporation because it's their money. The city only keeps 1% of the total amount just to cover the administrative cost of the city collecting and transferring the money. But essentially, the hotels are levying a fee for this Tourism Improvement District's use to increase tourism in the city of Florence. And so they're going to go, and one other note, that they're actually going by the name of One Louder. So if you see in the paper One Louder is sponsoring an event or whatever, that's the Tourism Improvement District's nonprofit board. So, any questions? Oh, and this is a contract with them just to nail down the details of the city collecting the money and what the nonprofit's going to do. All right, thank you.
Ms. Simmons, since we've got a little bit of time and Mr. Bowser is here, do you mind talking about some of the projects that this money's being used for the benefit of the council?
Put me on the spot there, Jackie. Thank you. Again, very excited to work with you guys on this. We started collecting September of 24, this fee. But, some of the things that we've done this past year, we're the principal sponsor for Shoals Fest, to be able to bring that back to the Shoals. We're the title sponsor for the Country Music Hall of Fame, the Muscle Shoals exhibit, the Low Rhythm Rising that they'll be hosting for, 3 years. Up at the Country Music Hall of Fame in downtown Nashville. About 1.4 million people go through that facility, so about 5 million people will be able to see that Muscle Shoals exhibit. Our 3 pillars with the TID are food, fashion, and music. So again, we really work in conjunction with Rob's budget, to try it again, anything to generate tourism. We're excited about the opportunity to get in front of the, 6.4 million people that travel in Natchez Trace every year, the 1.5 million people that go to Graceland every year, to partner with Memphis CBB and Nashville, be able to get some of those folks that are already millions of people that are driving right by us, to be able to get them over, come check us out. So, any questions for me? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we do have some board appointments, but we're going to take those at the next council meeting, and you all should have several applications within your folders. And so I encourage you to be sure and look at those, study those, investigate, call, whatever you need to do. And want to make sure that the citizens know that we do have some positions available, and encourage you to apply. And you have time to apply now. We'll have a meeting again in 2 weeks, and that's when we hope to make some appointments. So if you're interested, Anybody who's sitting here or who's watching online, make sure that you get your application in, and Ms. Kathy will make sure that they're distributed to the council for our review. Okay, if nothing else come before us, we'll take a break and we'll start back up at 5 o'clock.